January 6th, let's talk about it. I've been super depressed all weekend leading up to today, and I was thinking about why. And part of the reason, obviously, is the fact that a guy who incited a violent coup attempt is headed back to the Oval Office in just a few weeks. Part of it is that his enablers, from Mitch McConnell to Lindsey Graham to House Republicans like Steve Scalise and others, all of whom said that they were done with Donald Trump 4 years ago, are not just not done, but continuing to enable him, and also, by the way, in the majority now, helping him achieve his agenda. It's also not just because of the fact that they have somehow gaslit a huge portion of this country into believing that this was some sort of Woodstock love-in, as opposed to the violent insurrection that it was. It's not because of the fact that the so-called party of law and order somehow thinks that the violence that happened and that was visited upon the horrifically treated Capitol Police was somehow justified, and it's the Capitol Police who are a bunch of losers, and it's the insurrectionists who are a bunch of winners. It's not because Donald Trump has promised to release the people who were in charge of this insurrection from prison, where they were put by a jury of their peers after tremendous evidence was presented that they tried to stage a coup at his direction. It's not because the Justice Department fell down on the job and he's not going to be having any kind of legal repercussions himself for fomenting a violent coup attempt. It's actually because of the Democrats. Yes, that's right. The party to which I've devoted 30 years of my life, the people who have elected up and down the ballot for the last 3 decades, have actually fallen so low that a scant 4 years to the day after all of these travesties took place, the Democrats are nowhere to be found. In the minority in the House, in the minority in the Senate, blue presidential election. Oh, and by the way, now that Donald Trump is back in office, he can do whatever he wants because his Supreme Court has said it's okay. And despite all of this, the Democrats are out there talking about bipartisanship and can't we find issues to work together on? No. Stop being condescending to the voters. They have been very clear. They're not looking for bipartisanship. They're looking for people to flip the table. And they think that the people who are flipping the table and flipping the status quo are these insurrectionists who they'd rather have in office than people who constantly talk about bipartisanship and constantly talk about kumbaya. So stop. It hasn't worked. What does work is standing up to these people, drawing a contrast, and explaining in plain English how far this country has fallen and how far we have to go to get it back on its right path and right track. Until we do that, we have nobody to blame for the fact that an insurrectionist and his enablers are back in office. That's what got me so depressed all weekend, and that's why today is such a dark, dark day for me on January 6th.